on this season. It's our very own Philadelphia Phillies. It's another victory show. Woo! Cheers! Woo, ring the bell, Tyler. Welcome
got my pink lemonade for you.
Welcome into PHLY Phillies victory post-game show because yet again, it's another day to talk about the Phillies winning. The impressive start continues. We've got a lot to get into today. This game flew by. It started 2 hours ago, 2 hours and 17 minutes in and out, and they took care of business today. Welcome in, guys. All right, let's process how we're feeling here because the Phillies have become the first team in Major League Baseball to get 20 wins, then 30 wins, and then today made it 40 wins. It's happening, guys. It's happening. This is exciting. Tyler, how are you feeling over there with your pink lemonade?
Yeah, I mean, that was, you mentioned it, a very, very quick game today. And it was funny because the first 2 or 3 innings were a little slower, and then innings 4 through 8, just flew by. And that's a credit to Aaron Nola. I thought he was really, really sharp today. I think Aaron Nola threw 3 bad pitches all day. And 2 of them were hit out of the yard. But the beauty of a solo home run when you've got a multi-run lead is it doesn't sting all that bad as long as you're willing to bounce back and able to bounce back. And both times Nola did, and he got into the 7th. He pitched 6 1/3. And Renee, I know he threw the curveball more than he did the two-seam today, but I want to give a little bit of a shout-out to that two-seam because he was painting it this evening. There was a couple of times with some left-handed hitters where JT spotted up inside, ran that two-seam on the hands, and you could see the guys go and back the hands up, and umpires back there, strike one, or ringing them up. Because, I mean, we know this about Aaron Nola, when his two-seam is on and he can supplement the curveball off of that, or in this case, supplement the two-seam off the curveball like he did today, he's, really, really difficult to hit, but that two-seam was filthy today.
All right, guys, as you're talking about the excitement of Aaron Nola, the excitement right now is exactly what I'm seeing in the chat. It is not even June 1st. We haven't even gotten June Schwarber yet. We're still recovering from Memorial Day weekend, some of us. And already we are talking about 40 wins for this team. K-Red, Jim, Shizzy M, John Sequella. Friday night, City Connect jersey. I know Jim's saying Friday nights are for Yingling, City Connectors, and Phillies victories. We drink Miller Lite on this show. But it is absolutely for victories. Listen, as I'm watching Nick Castellanos douse Brandon Marsh post-game.
Wow. I mean, he destroyed that head. That headset's going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that wasn't a little sprinkle, actually. That was we just won 40 games on the season dousing. This is a great way to start the weekend. This is a great way to start June. And I know we're going to get into individual performances, Edmundo Sosa, Aaron Nola, Brandon Marsh, so many guys to talk through. It was a quick game, but I feel like most importantly was a game the Phillies took care of business fast and early. This was like one of those games you blinked and it's over. 2 hours, in, out, done. It's kind of like we went the express lane here. Like, we don't need to drag this out. We're gonna go up early. Edmundo Sosa with a big play, huge homer, 439-foot bomb, and that was all she wrote. Game over, locked and loaded in baseball heaven, no less. So I love that they took care of business and yet again score first and don't have us doubting if they're going to win the game.
Yeah, we talked about it after the 2-4 road trip, where if you come back out and you take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, who have played much better as of late. They were 12-3 in their last 15 coming into this one. But I'll be honest with you, this is not I don't think this is a good Cardinals team. Or at least it's not the Cardinals team that we've come to expect. Now, I don't know about you, Renee, but when I think about the Cardinals over my lifetime, they're a steady, they're a constant. They're always going to be in it deep into the season. They're always going to be fighting for a playoff spot. They're always going to have now, and those always often parlayed with Adam Wainwright and Chris Carpenter, Albert Pujols, and Yadier Molina, who obviously none of them are here anymore. This is a rebuilding Cardinals team, and they've got some pieces that are really, really solid. Mason Wynn is going to be a stud. I really like Ivan Herrera behind the plate. He's done a really nice job filling in for Contreras since the arm injury a couple weeks ago. But they're not as good as not your father's Cardinals type of team. And so you have an opportunity to a team you've already beaten in a series, beat them in the season series, and you jumped on them tonight. And it was a compilation of things. It was Nola pitching really well. It was the monstrous, towering home run hit by Edmundo Sosa. And let's not forget, the defense tonight was sharp. Bryson Stott was fantastic at second base tonight.
Yes. Where do we begin? I'm like reading the comments. That's not a Merlot, guys. It's not a Miller Lite either, but it's not a Merlot. I will say, though, as you talk about all the little things that went well, it was another game where it's different guys across this team stepping up, contributing, helping them to win the game. And as you talk about, the success of Aaron Nola, the down of the St. Louis Cardinals team. Let me just throw out there, and I tweeted this out earlier. Let's all remember, not too long ago, when we thought Aaron Nola was going to baseball heaven, and a lot of people were ready to make that deal happen, and we're okay with Aaron Nola going to the Cardinals. And I just always find it fitting now. Every time we play the Cardinals, I'm like, could have had him. And especially when you look at nights like today when Aaron Nola was spectacular. Yoro, guys, tonight was a Yoro night. But let's start with Aaron Nola. 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks on the night. He did throw 96 pitches. He was pulled just shy of 100 pitches and had a 3.03 ERA on the night. And Tyler, as you're talking about, the way that he was pitching, he did have 14 first pitch strikes in the 24 batters that he faced. And honestly, it was a steady night for Aaron Nola. He took care of business. The 2 runs that he gave up, I mean, I'm not going to – it is what it is. He bounced back. He got out of it. And he still maintained the Phillies' lead, most importantly.
Right. And that's the thing is, listen, we know that one of the Achilles heels of Aaron Nola throughout the course of his career has been the long ball. And if it's going to be a dose of solo home runs when your team is able to produce some runs on any given evening, it really doesn't hurt you as much as a prolonged, 28 pitch second inning. Like, remember his last outing, I think he threw 20 some odd pitches in the second inning, and and he still ended up getting into the 6th, but I think it really took a toll on him both physically and mentally that, he threw that many pitches in the second inning. And he said, even to T-Mac and Kruk and Taryn on the broadcast that, he's at his best when he attacks the zone early. And I think any pitcher's at their best when they attack the zone early, but Nola especially when he gets ahead because he's got a plethora of pitches that he can choose from that is, that you can call a put away pitch. You want to strike out looking on a lefty, you've got the 2-seam we mentioned. You want to get a righty flailing down and out, the knuckle curve comes into play. And he's a type of guy who can spot the knuckle curve both in and out of the zone effectively. And because of that, I think that, him getting ahead in the count is even more important than it is for most hitters because, obviously, or for most pitchers, because obviously you want to get ahead in the count. Any pitcher does. But for him, him especially, not having to work from behind is where he thrives.
Thriving. And this team is thriving. Shout out to Paul Casella, who's always dropping some great nuggies of information for us. I see that comment, Seth, about Yoro. We'll get there. Here's some other exciting things to look into as we're deep diving this win. So Paul Casella just tweeted out that the Phillies are now 4-2 to finish. Excuse me. Words I can read. The Phillies won 4-2 to finish with a 20-7 record in May. So a beautiful 20-7 record in May. Their first 20-win month since September 2010, guys. I remember vividly where I was September 2010. I was just starting my freshman year of college over a decade ago. It was back in September of 2010 that the Phillies last had a month where they won 20 games. Let that sink in. They also led Major League Baseball this month with 5.78 runs per game. They have a 2.62 team ERA, which is their best since June of course, 2011. And then also their starters, as we saw their tremendous game by Aaron Nola, their starters have a 2.88 ERA. And the bullpen, Stromboli, looking at you, have a 2.13 ERA. The first month with both posting a sub-3 ERA since, you want to guess the year on this one? June of.
Is this those 1897 stats that you're about to throw at me?
There are eights. There are eights in this. So the last time that both the starting pitching and the bullpen posted a sub-3 ERA, June of 1985, guys. Do we all remember where we were in 1985, the summer of 1985? Listen, this is insane, the numbers that they keep putting up and how they keep eclipsing so many firsts and records. And you look back over the years, wild. John Zaquella, you were close with 1983, 2 years off. But it's been that long since we've seen this success. And all the wins this month were not pretty. Like today was a pretty blah game because I feel like most importantly, the Phillies never let the Cardinals get anything going. They took care of business on both sides of the ball. They, as you talk about defensively, solid. We saw some really good plays. Minus there was a double play the Phillies gave up that I was like, oh boy, cringed a little, triggered me. But it is, for the most part, a game where you saw them start and finish solid. No dips, no drop-offs, even up by 3, and you give up that first run. You know, it didn't catapult and spiral into something else. So that is why when you look across these wins that they have, 40 on the season, 20 in the month of May, the success they've had hasn't always been flashy. And I think people get lost in that because we feel like if you're the best team in baseball, every win should be edge of your seat, exciting, thrilling, cheersing, high-fiving. And no, some of their wins like tonight are just them taking care of business. So shout out to, again, Paul for that nugget of information, because when you really think about the last time they've accomplished some of these feats, it's miraculous to see how much this team has done. And it is only May 31st. We haven't even gotten into June yet.
Yeah, and so I think tonight, like you were saying, you know, a little bland, a little boring, and that's fine. I mean,
yeah, we like boring wins.
You jumped out to a lead, and the thing is too, you know, the first run to me was super, super important. Not just because you jump out to a lead, not just because you make it a 1-0 game, but it's because they were able to manufacture a run in a game where, you know, you head into the bottom of the third and it's scoreless. And Michaelis was pitching decent through the first time through the order. And so you get into a situation where you're able to manufacture a run and you're up 1-0. And I think it rattled Michaelis a little bit. Now, I also think that Michaelis hung a breaking ball to Edmundo Sosa that he hit into orbit. And you know, that was like the furthest ball I've seen this year so far.
Good shot.
But the manufacturing of a run is significant more than just the 1-0, you know, to jump out to a 1-0 lead. So mundane a little bit. Yeah. But I think at this point, you'll take it. I do have to say one thing though, because you brought up that double play that was started by Brandon Crawford, and oh my God,
that was a great play by Brandon Crawford though.
Well, I mean, Brandon Crawford's been making that play for a decade now. Yeah. There's a reason he's got like 7 Gold Gloves. I mean,
he hit the reverse on that age-wise, because that was really good.
You know,
really
one of the premier elite defensive shortstops of his generation, and even though he's probably lost a step or two defensively, his losing a step or two defensively still makes him a great defender. He may not be elite anymore, but he's still pretty freaking good. And that was just, I mean, that was one of those where you just go and tip the cap because it was filthy.
It was very nice. I know in the chat you guys are talking about, again, the Yoro love. See, we like Yoro as a nickname when he's getting an insurance RBI. We like Yoro when he's making good plays. Also, some history for us, because as we are all thinking back to where we were in 1985, I just want to rewind really quickly, Tyler. Ed, you're mentioning how in 1985, and Steve Bedrosian, Shizzy, and you were at a concert. Huh?
Steve Bedrosian was good. Cy Young winner.
Yeah. Shizzy's mentioning he was at a stadium concert at RFK Stadium across from the Vet, Sting Joan Jett, and then John saying how much Joan Jett rules because, sure, yes. But yeah, like when you think about and K-Red was mentioning being born in 85, Jim was a 7th grader in Norristown in 1985, Corey was -1, I was negative math. I was -7.
I was -8.
Yeah. See, I helped you out because I did it first. And John was also at a baseball camp meeting Kevin Gross. But it's insane. It's been such a long time since we've seen some of these feats, and it does make you think back where you were last you saw this success. I know our own John Foley is going to be joining us later with some updates after Rob Thompson's presser, so he'll be giving us some sounds and updates from Citizens Bank Park. But it's wild when you think about how the success of this team has played out and how it's been, you know, different guys, different ways. So tonight we had the largest home crowd of the season. Another exciting thing on a Friday night, May 31st, the largest home crowd, and they got to see a solid win. It was around just under 45,000 that were in attendance at Citizens Bank Park. And what's been greatest about this, and I was talking about this earlier on a show I jumped on with a buddy of mine, Aaron Bracey. I've been talking about this with a number of people, I feel like, and trying to remind them the greatest things about what makes this Phillies stretch phenomenal is when you look at when Trey Turner went down on May 4th and how they've been playing since, the numbers, the performance of individuals has been insane. You know, JT Realmuto had, you know, the hitting streak, you know, the RIP to the hitting streak, but that's okay. JT Realmuto, 17-game hitting streak. He had gotten a hit in every single game since moving to the 2-hole after Trey Turner got hurt. Edmundo Sosa, the numbers that he's had since that time, it's like 3 of his 4 home runs, a handful of doubles, RBIs that have happened. I don't have the exact stat in front of me because I can't find it. But Edmundo Sosa, since being slotted in, has been phenomenal. He actually ranks first among NL players in FWAR at 1.3 since May 4th. And Bryce Harper's not far behind, tied with Shohei Ohtani at 1.2. The numbers, the way that these guys have contributed, it's been fantastic to see. And I want to talk about Edmundo before we get into Yoro, because we'll talk about Yoro, don't you worry. But Edmundo Sosa, yet again, the consistency that we've seen from him every single game, your first at bat, you launch a moonshot, 439 feet. That's off your bat. I mean, it's phenomenal to see how he's showing. This is not a fluke. Now, I don't know that he can continue this the entire season. I don't care to think that far ahead, to be honest, because all I'm thinking about right now is in this moment, what Edmundo Sosa is doing. And he is delivering, he is contributing, and he is also helping them literally win games. He's not just out there, you know, holding up a spot as shortstop. He's out there literally putting the team on his back at times and helping the Phillies win games. So love the fact that, yes, first pitch, first at bat, you're like, here I am. Edmundo Sosa's entered the chat. Bye-bye. That ball's out of here. So it's been awesome to see how Edmundo Sosa just continues to thrive ever since he's had the opportunity to step into the role without Trey Turner.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, I was talking with a buddy, and he and I were texting back and forth about, like, what is Sosa's role when Trey Turner returns? And I said, here's the thing. First and foremost, it's a good problem to have, because I was not sure would Edmundo Sosa eventually kind of, you know, plateau and come back, you know, regress towards the mean a little bit of being, you know, a fringe starter, bench type of piece player that he's been throughout the course of his career if he were overexposed to too many at-bats. He's been really, really good. And I, you know, the numbers jump off the page. Like the barrel percentage is up at like 13%. Last year, he had 14 barrels over the course of 1,100 pitches. This year, he already has 8 over the course of 388 pitches seen. His exit velocity, his average exit velocity is up almost 3 miles an hour. And all of the numbers that you expect are either going up in the right direction or down in the right direction. The walk rate is up. The K rate is down. The hard hit percentage is up. And so when we were having this conversation, I pointed out, I said, listen, the best thing that Edmundo Sosa is giving you right now, other than the statistical stuff, of course, because on the field results do matter, the best thing that Sosa provides you right now is the allowance of a healthy Trey Turner. And what I mean by that is Trey Turner can get back when Trey Turner is ready to get back and when he's 100% healthy. Hamstrings are really difficult. They're fickle. They're kind of wonky. They're really easy to re-aggravate. And if he's not 100% healthy, if they had no backup plan, if they had no response for that position, even if it was to move Stott over and then you say, well, we don't have a second base response, whatever the case may be, Sosa's provided you a lifeline to the point where I think at this point, you know, I'm not worried about rushing Trey Turner back, because I know when Trey Turner comes back, he's playing shortstop, he's probably hitting in the 2-hole, and he's going to play just about every day once he's 100% healthy. But what Sosa allows you to do is to get Turner to 100% healthy and not feel like you have to rush him back.
That's the exact key. There's no need to rush. There's no need to worry. At the end of the day, had the Phillies struggled when Trey Turner went down May 4th and went on this losing streak, we'd all be panicking. We'd be rushing him back. And with hamstrings, as somebody that has strained their hamstring several times to the point that I could not walk or sit down, don't ask questions, it was awful. When you have a muscle injury like that, you feel fine one day and then one little movement and it sets you back weeks. So it's great that they don't have to rush him, because as we keep getting the injury updates around Trey Turner, the latest update is that he did resume taking ground balls, did some light jogging prior to the game today. Rob Thompson did say there's no timetable for when he's going to start running the bases. And he does still need to ramp up his running program, go through base running and sliding drills before heading out on rehab assignment. So he's unlikely to return until after the London series, since that's just a week away. But that gives you that breathing room where you don't have to feel stressed. Trey doesn't have to feel stressed. His role is going to be here whenever he comes back. His spot is still going to be there. But he doesn't have to worry about, the team needs me, I got to get back. And the team's not feeling stressed. It's like, listen, TT, we got you. Don't worry. I know. I tried it. It didn't hit the way I thought it would. It didn't hit.
You gave it a second too.
Yeah, I tried to let it marinate. I didn't like it. It didn't. TT's a little soft. He needs a stronger nickname. I'll have one. But anyways, take your time, Trey. There's no rush back. We've got you. We're going to keep winning until you get back. And then whenever he does come back, it should actually just be honestly reassuring and refreshing to have somebody out there that's ready to go, excited to be back out on the field, and excited to be playing baseball again.
Yeah, we talk about stressing, and I know now that it's the weekend for a lot of us, you and I are about a half an hour from the weekend. I'm not stressing, and as soon as this one's over, I'm going to my fridge. It's right over there. I'm grabbing myself a nice because I hit the wrong button and I forget how to do my job. So maybe I need a Miller Lite now. You guys know about Miller Lite because you can find Miller Lite just about everywhere that they sell beer. It's cool, crisp, refreshing, and it's 96 calories because, guys, we're getting into the heat of summer. You're going to have your backyard barbecues, your pool parties, you're going to the beach and down the shore. And, you don't want to be drinking liquor or the heavy IPAs when you're sitting out in the PA or Jersey or Delaware or Florida or wherever you're at, son, because it's just going to be too much. Miller Lite is the easy drinking beer. We know a lot's changed over the years, and the one thing that has not is the great taste of Miller Lite. And like I said, it's less filling. So you're not going to feel bloated. You're not going to feel gross. You can have one or two and feel good. You can have a couple and feel okay as well because it's 107 degrees out come July and you're sitting at the ballpark and you want a beer, you go and grab a Miller Lite. And that's the thing about Miller Lite is you can get it anywhere. Like I said, you go to the shore, up the mountains, you sit in your fridge. You apparently don't know how to do your job and work your StreamYard functions. Well, Miller Lite's there for you. And it's so easy to access and even to a point where you can get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Miller Lite keeps it simple, quality, great taste, 96 calories. You don't have to choose what's best because Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/PHLY Phils, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium beer.
I love that you casually put yourself off the show. That was funny.
Well, at that point, I just have to make fun of myself at that point.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. You just exit it out. But listen, I will say the fact that my nickname TT did not stick, and that's a really good point that K-Red made. It's because TT sounds like TT, like aunt in Spanish. Doesn't hit the same way. And if it didn't hit while you guys are 9 beers in, it's not going to land at all. And I'm going to let that one go. So let me know how much K-Red's been smoking. You guys have been drinking beer. Let us know how many drinks in you are, what you're drinking right now. It is a Friday night. We are hanging. And while you're, taking some time to enjoy yourself, let me also tell you about where you can make sure to be financially responsible. That is with our friends over at TrueMark Financial Credit Union, because when you join a credit union like TrueMark Financial, you become part owner, which means that the profits are coming back to you instead of going to shareholders. We've dealt with, and I've had several people that have dealt with their fair share of issues with their banking, with their money, wondering where their money is going. You don't have to worry about that with TrueMark Financial Credit Union. They've got better rates, lower fees, a better return on savings, and they've got more flexible options. And they also have technology, digital tools that allow you to have at your fingertips access to resources to make our lives easier. And also with TrueMark, they've got local roots, guys, headquartered right in Fort Washington, with 24 branches in the Philly area. They do serve our community and our people right here at home. I pass TrueMark almost every day going to work. There's one on Broad Street in Philly. They're all over the place. You can find a TrueMark easily. And also, not only can you find them easily, but when you become a member, you easily get some great benefits. Benefits that allow you to really take advantage of your financial planning and your future. Whether you're looking to start your family, looking to move, looking to travel, whatever may be going on in your lives, TrueMark Financial is the place to make sure that you have all the benefits of being a part of a great credit union over the opportunity to be a part of a bank. It's a no-brainer. So head over to truemark.com/PHLY to learn more and find a branch near you. That's truemark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA. All right, so there's a lot of things, little stats that are coming out because, of course, when you're winning, this is what it brings. Rather than losing, which brings frustration and bitching and complaining, when you are winning, it brings stats and history and fun facts and all these incredible things that we get to talk about. So it is fun to see that the Phillies are continuing to have these great moments. Now, we talked about Edmundo Sosa. Let's talk about Yoro, because Yoro is sticking. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. All right. So Yoro tonight was clutch, got the insurance RBI late in the game. The Phillies obviously needed that. And then I did hear the stats that Yoro has been 14 for 49 with runners in scoring position. He is 306 with runners in scoring position, and his overall batting average is a 229. Yoro is sneakily giving us more than we thought, guys. Don't sleep on him. He might quietly have some good at-bats and RBIs, but Yoro is absolutely, giving exactly what we need from him. Nobody expected him to come in and be June Schwarber. Nobody expected him to come in and be smashing home runs every day. But he is at least giving you good at-bats occasionally, and a day like today, giving you an insurance RBI. So love the fact that we're getting Yoro in a really clutch moment. So as we're talking about Yoro, let's get another person's input on just all the excitement going on around the Phillies today, because Citizens Bank Park was rocking, as I mentioned, the largest home crowd of this season. And our very own John Foley was down there live in person, enjoying all the action, covering the game, and just had a chance to hear from Rob himself. John, Jay Foles.
Jay Foles.
I
like it. It's a party down here. I mean, I think you just said it, Renee. Biggest crowd of the season thus far. And they were having a blast. It looks like everybody's having a party in the comments too. 9 beers, 8 beers in. Lot of beverages.
Well, you could be no beers in and forget how to do your job, John.
Yeah, I know.
So there's 2 people that are, well, none of us have drank beer tonight, so it's fine. So Rob had a chance.
Plenty of time. I'm talking about me being sober and forgetting how to do my job.
But John, you did have a chance to hear from Rob post-game. Curious to hear what he had to say. Another game that the Phillies win, and as we were talking about before you jumped on, it wasn't a flashy win. It wasn't an exciting win. We didn't need extra innings. We didn't need anything too much. We got a great hit from a moonshot from Edmundo Sosa. We got an RBI from Marsh. We got a great insurance RBI from Yoro. It was just by committee, Aaron Nola, different guys that were pitching in. But most importantly, 40th win on the season. So what did you hear from Rob post-game?
So post-game, Rob, as you would think, he's happy with everyone's performance. Gave a nod to Nola, going pretty deep into the game again. Mentioned how that pattern of the starting pitchers going so deep in the games has been fantastic for the bullpen. He said, sometimes it even hurts the bullpen because they can get a little rusty when they can't find enough work for everybody. I asked him about Sosa's big hit, and would it be a challenge to keep getting Sosa regular at bats once everyone's once the team's at full strength? There was no big news or takeaway there. There was no here's how we're going to keep Sosa in the starting lineup that I know some folks might have been hoping for. No news there, but Rob Thompson's definitely very high on Edmundo Sosa. I mean, how could he not be? You saw the ball he hit today. Whole team looked great, and 40 wins. That's a May 31, 40 wins. That's really impressive. I was talking to somebody just a few minutes ago, and we were thinking about the 2015 team. Looked it up. July 31st for their 40th.
Wow,
win.
2 whole months later.
2 whole months later, and I don't know if they won more after those 40 either. was just about it for those guys.
If no one watched those games, did they actually happen? It's like the tree in the forest situation.
That's an interesting question. Did they really exist?
I'm not sure they actually happened.
Was Aaron Altair just a fever dream?
John, I'm curious because you have a really unique view from the press box where you can kind of see like right down over top of JT and the umpire's shoulder. The view that we get from the TV made it look like Aaron Nola's two-seam was electric tonight. Did you get the same view? And what were your thoughts on him, his performance, especially with that two-seam tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was Nola at his best, I thought. The home run balls, that's always going to be a thing. Always going to be a thing with Nola. I think it goes hand in hand with attacking the strike zone. And a couple of times they're going to give up those shots, but they were solo shots. Limited. I think he had 2 walks, and a couple, maybe one other hit besides the home run ball. So he's limiting the damage by just making sure nobody's on base when those inevitable home run balls come. From my vantage point, your vantage point, anyone in the stadium could see that he was really, really looking sharp tonight.
Yeah, it was great to see Aaron Nola. I know I was just watching him speaking post game. Have another game. The Phillies as a whole, their pitching staff has been fantastic, being able to go 6-7 innings with little to no damage when they are done. And so it's been fun to see how that consistently happened again today. Also, as we talk about JT Realmuto's hitting streak coming to an end, so did Mason Wins, who was the person in the league that had the longer active winning streak. His one at bat was an offer. But
it shows you what Rob Thompson and Oliver Marmol think of hitting streaks, because I mean, obviously JT was going to play. That's one thing, but Marmol sending up Win to pinch hit in a spot that they needed him, right? That's basically saying, listen, kid, we love you. You're going to be a star, but the game means a whole lot more than your hitting streak does. And I tip my cap to both Marmol and to Win for, not caring about the moment and caring about winning, trying to win the baseball game.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because there might be some people that in that moment, and I know for a fact were, as Cardinals fans, because we don't care as Phillies fans, thinking like, wait a minute, what about the hitting streak? Why would you throw him in this situation knowing his hitting streak is on the line? Not a problem. We don't care. But John, as we also look, this is a great first game of the series for the Phillies, coming off of a tough West Coast trip, a much needed day off. They fortunately ended the West Coast trip with a great win against the Giants, and then pick up today. What else did you pick up on in terms of updates, or even just that you noticed from your own observations from tonight, and how they bounced back and how they returned back home?
I think they really feed off the energy of the home crowd here. I mean, I think it's got to be tough, right, to go to some of these ballparks that are not that filled. You go out to Colorado. I think they had decent sized crowds in San Fran, but just all those trips out west always seem to be a little strange. Always tough places to play. So they scratched out a couple wins, got the last one to tide us over through the off day, and now it feels like they're just sort of back in business. I mean, I don't have the numbers at my fingertips, but their home record now is just incredible. And I don't think it's a coincidence with the stadium being packed every day. Again, largest crowd of the season. I don't know how many sellouts now. And it's just, you can sort of feel it's not October. It's not a red October crowd, but the way the team fed off the energy of Citizens Bank Park in the past few postseasons, it really feels like at these home games they're doing it the entire season now, which is a really fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it almost has the so 2008 didn't feel like it had it until it got more into the summer and you realized that this team was good. 2009 started to have it. That's when the sellout streak began, and then by like 10 and 11. These crowds were just churning, right? Like it was April, May, June, didn't matter. And it's starting to get back to that point where, if you remember, obviously 2022, the Joe Girardi stuff really had the fans on the brink of like getting ready to blow the team up and rebuild. and they right the ship and make a run to the World Series. And then last year it had a little bit of a slow start again. This year with them hot out of the gate, I don't think there's any excuse or any reason as to why that ballpark's not filled on a nightly basis anymore.
No, it's great. It's a beautiful thing. I remember around, I think it was 2021 when it was Roy Halladay's retirement game, and Zach Wheeler was pitching. Dominated. It was a beautiful moment, and a lot of people turned out for that game. I remember looking around the ballpark and being like, "Wow, it's pretty full here." I think it was like a Sunday afternoon crowd, and it was really surprising to see the park full. So to now just walk in expecting this every time is something else. And they might be on the verge of kickstarting one of those big sellout streaks like they had during their last golden era. I think it was 200 and I forget that 200 and some games, consecutive sellouts. That might be in the cards here if the team keeps up their end. I think the fans are going to keep up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the expectations have risen in a number of ways, for fans, the atmosphere, but also obviously the product on the field and how the Phillies are playing, with the expectation that this group is going to consistently give you entertaining baseball, winning games. John, before we let you go, because I know you've got more going on this weekend as we're looking ahead, starting to look ahead now to the rest of the weekend that you'll be down there at Citizens Bank Park. What are your final thoughts, final takeaways from having had a chance to be there? And then, of course, looking ahead at the pitching matchups for the rest of the weekend that hopefully the Phillies will continue to close out this series in a nice way.
Yeah. So just closing thoughts. If you have not been down here at the ballpark, I'd highly recommend you come on out, especially these weekend games. I mean, just a blast. I think they're set up well. I think they're facing Sonny Gray tomorrow, so that might pose a challenge. But the way this team is playing, and especially the way this team is playing at home right now, I don't think there's anyone to fear. I think they're going to take care of business. Probably take at least 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, and then Rhys Hoskins and his Brewers come to town, so that should be a lot of fun too. So great stuff coming up this week.
Yeah, it is Sonny Gray versus Ranger Suarez tomorrow, and then Taijuan. Need I say Voldemort Walker? Because it's hard to even say his name these days. He's the one guy that people are always looking to complain about. Taijuan Walker going up against Lance Lynn on Sunday to close things out. 3 night games for this series, and should be very interesting, John. I'm excited to see, as you continue following this weekend, the updates that you've got for us from down at Citizens Bank Park.
Sounds good. I'll keep them coming.
Fantastic. Thanks, John, thank you. Have a great evening, and make sure you guys are checking out John's work. As always, doing a tremendous job. John is always, giving you guys a little bit of everything. His articles are great. His, social media content, everything that he's dropping has been fun to see. And always just keeps you up to loop with what's going on around the team. And yes, I feel like Taijuan Walker is becoming Voldemort. The moment you say his name, you are triggering a lot of people that do not want to have the conversation about Taijuan Walker. But also, I know in the chat, we're talking about Brandon Marsh and his body language after being doused post-game. But
yeah,
these are the little things. I think these are just the little things that, like, when you're winning and you almost have to figure out, like, okay, what else can we talk about? What else is an issue? We're like reaching for straws a wee bit here, because I don't get these vibes at all. But who knows? Maybe I missed something. It's possible. It's possible.
Renee, I know you're quite good at your job, but you are a true pro, because you say John Foley gives you a little bit of everything. You know where else gets you a little bit of everything? Ooh. That is being our friend over at Rite Aid, and I promise this time I'm going to do it correctly and not take myself off the screen. Yes, we know that Memorial Day weekend has passed, but that doesn't mean that you can't get all of your summer needs at Rite Aid, because it is the perfect place to stock up for all of your summer events. We talked about it earlier. Pool day supplies. You need goggles, floaties, sunscreens. You can check everything off your list with a one-stop shop at Rite Aid. But if you're not going to the pool, maybe you're going to the beach, or you're going up the mountains, or you're just hanging at home, you can get sunscreen, first aid supplies, all of your snacks and drinks, picnic supplies. Yeah, I guess people still have picnics. You can get all of your paper supplies and more. And of course, If you're looking for a cool down treat in the hot summer months, they have ice cream as well with Thrifty Ice Cream. You can pick up a container today exclusively at Rite Aid. You have everything that you need. And on top of that, you can save $10 in Rite Aid bonus cash. When you spend $50, that is available through tomorrow only in store. Visit riteaid.com/weekly/deals for more information. It is valid just until tomorrow. Purchase must be on eligible products in a single transaction. That excludes sales tax, and after all other applicable discounts are applied. Limit 1 per transaction. It is redeemable only at the Rite Aid pharmacy stores. No cash given, not valid if duplicated, or valid on prescriptions and copay, alcohol, tobacco products, lottery, money services, gift cards, prepaid cards, newspapers, stamps, online purchases, mailing services, license, or items excluded by law. Check out Rite Aid today and get everything that you need in a one-stop shop.
All right. And the one thing that goes great with winning and everything about sports, it's some delicious, juicy meat. ButcherBox, that is, guys, ButcherBox. Because ButcherBox has high quality meats and seafoods that you can trust. They have 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood that you can enjoy. And what makes it even better to enjoy it, you can get it delivered right to your doorstep. If you're at home, like myself right now, you can have it delivered right to your front door where you don't even have to worry about the hassle of going to the grocery store, going to the aisles, checking the frozen meat. I don't know about you guys, but buying food in general, especially buying meat, becomes difficult. Your frozen food, your frozen seafood, you want to get the right amounts. You want to get the right quality of sirloins or ribeyes and things like that. And so with ButcherBox, they have free shipping always when it's delivered right to your door. And they also have customized box plans. So you can figure out what makes most sense for you, for your family. If it's a large group, maybe it's just 1 or 2 of you in your household, you can get those custom box plans as well. And then with this, of course, know that you're always getting the high quality cuts at an amazing value. You don't have to worry about breaking the bank because it is very expensive buying seafood and buying your premium cut meats. They've got exclusive member deals for you. They also have some great perks such as recipe inspirations and guides and tips and various hacks that you can check out so that you can try to maybe mix up how you're grilling that burger or maybe how you're cooking that chicken. And so with ButcherBox today, they are offering our listeners an amazing offer where new users get free meat plus $20 off your first box. You can join today by using our link butcherbox.com/PHLY. Again, the code is PHLY to be able to receive this exclusive offer today before time runs out. It's convenient, less trips to the grocery store, and you're getting high quality food that is always prepared meat that you can now have in the freezer ready to eat. Get your meat in the freezer ready to eat. That deal can't be beat. ButcherBox, guys, use that code PHLY to get your free meat plus $20 off your first box. That's all I got, Tyler.
Also, that actually was one of the ones, one of your better ones. I'm not going to lie. That was concise and it worked. And
concise is good.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes they need explaining or they drag out.
I will say this. Yes, I can attest to K-Red's comment. He says Foley seems like a good dude. He is, in fact, a good dude.
Very good dude. Very nice guy. Very down to earth. Super, super, super cool. Super. And then I know you guys in the chat, we appreciate you so much for hanging with us on this Friday night. Chris Lemmer, no problem joining us late. You had to get your 7-year-old Molly to sleep. I love that. Bedtime does have priority over our show. And then I know Darth who's mentioning still to go check out the Brandon Marsh post-game interview. Honestly, I'm probably sure he was mad because he got doused so much. That wasn't a sprinkle. That was a shower.
Yeah, they
chilly out tonight. I don't know about you guys. I get cold very easily, but I was outside and I had the goosebumps going. Like, it's a little bit too much water and too chilly for all of that.
Yeah, that seemed a little bit like there was this is a little bit of retribution, a little bit of payback for all the times that Marsh has done it to them. I wouldn't look too far into it. I think this team is so close knit and so tight, and like it's just a group of I don't know how else to describe it other than it's like the boys playing ball. You know what I mean?
I knew that's what you were gonna say. It's dudes being dudes.
It's dudes being dudes, right? And like I think that they are such a collective unit. I wouldn't look too much.
Even as
bad at the moment.
Yeah. Listen, we have siblings, and I know at a lot of times want to strangle my siblings. Doesn't mean I love them any less. If I want to just punch them in the face, or if we fight and now we're screaming at each other and cursing, we don't love each other any less. So I would even say, like, you guys, they spend so much time together, and they were definitely waiting for their chance to get him, and he was annoyed by it, right? Because it was a lot. I mean, I was watching kind of like, okay, that's a lot. Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Full the Perrier sparkling water. Like Castellanos just turned it and dumped
a lot. It was a lot.
By the way, I know I don't want to go off too much on a tangent. I'm sorry. Drinking that sparkling water trying to play a sport has to be extremely difficult.
It makes me burp. I don't want to be running around burping. Yeah, and it's not something you can chug. So when I used to play, I love a nice cold, refreshing, water, Gatorade, something I can chug easily. You can't chug a Perrier or a Pellegrino or something. Yeah.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. That's my one tangent of the day. That's all.
Fine. As we wrap up, though, because we're going to get out of here pretty early on this Friday, we are, listen, that's all. I've said pretty much everything I need to say, but the Phillies finished the night 7 hits on the night, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored, obviously. The 1 home run from Edmundo, the moonshot, which was a beauty, 1 walk on the night. And also we're a total of 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Mr. Michaelis is looking like Miko Nas. It sounded better in my head, but
so
I'm trying too hard.
Is there a filter? Is there just like a split-second filter where you go, maybe not this one?
No, actually, no. This is a safe space, and we're family. And I feel like, just like Tyler, you're going to get these awful nicknames. So was everybody else in this chat, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. But, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm hanging with my friends, sometimes I say corny things that don't deliver. And this is just friends being friends, Tyler.
I get it.
Yeah. But overall, we do now get, again, Sonny Gray tomorrow is going to get the start for the Cardinals with a 2.6 ERA going up against our own Ranger Suarez in honor of Jamie, adorable Ranger, with his 1.75 ERA. And when you just look at the numbers across this group, I'm expecting a bounce back game for Ranger. I'm expecting win 41 for the team tomorrow. And I think that after dropping the last 2 series, since we're not going to see you guys again until Monday, I do anticipate the Phillies are going to put away the Cardinals this weekend. As you mentioned, Tyler, a team that is a little bit beaten down, not at full strength. And I think that the Phillies should be able to get after them this weekend, starting with Ranger, or continuing, I should say, with Ranger tomorrow after the performance we saw tonight from Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Sonny Gray's been really good. 7-2 with a 2.6 ERA, 67 strikeouts in 52 innings, a 1 flat whip. It seems like it's been a good signing for them so far. Now, I'm not sure past him how good or deep this rotation actually is, but it seemed like he's at least going to steady the ship a little bit. He's been quite good so far. This is going to be a good pitchers matchup. Ranger looking to bounce back. Sonny Gray's been pretty good from a bulk of the season. I think if you know how I said yesterday on the show, if you're looking to take the over on Sunday's game just blindly, this might play like an under. I don't know what it is, but it might play like an under.
Ooh, okay. Very interesting. Well, another thing that I want to leave you guys with as we are rolling out of here is the clock. When the clock strikes midnight, Cinderella's going to be headed to the ball. We're going to be getting, We're going to be getting June Schwarber. Because he turns into like Cinderella.
I get what you're saying. I get it.
So June Schwarber is loading. In the last 3 years across about 80 games, Schwarber's hit 36 home runs, and he's had almost an RBI or a run scored, in every single one of those games. The numbers that he's had on average, it's not literally in every single one, but on average, it's about 70 to 75 RBIs and runs that he's scored since 3 years ago in June. So the numbers that he puts up has been phenomenal. He already has a 980 OPS versus left-handed pitchers on the season. He has been doing really well. So I'm excited to see if this is the start we're getting from Kyle Schwarber. What is June Schwarber going to look like when he takes that next stride? So it should be an exciting time for the Phillies moving forward. We did get some other details around London because we are anticipating the rotation is going to stay on track The current plan for London is Ranger Suarez and Taijuan Walker getting the starts in London, and then Zach Wheeler is going to have an extra day of rest as well. So hey, the everything is working itself out as is. We don't love Zach Wheeler on an extra day of rest. He has a 4.12 on extra rest compared to his normal rest of a 1.95 ERA. So a little bit of a drop off, to say the least, with that 4.12 ERA with extra rest, just a smidge, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get a lot going on with Kyle Schwarber, and then of course with June means not only June Schwarber and the London series, but our fun London series watch party where you guys can hang out with us. 8 days. Technically, it's like 7 days and 13 hours, but who's counting? That you guys can hang out with us at Gall & Co. We're going to be having our watch parties at the Port Richmond and the Rockledge location on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a pregame show, a watch party, and a postgame show. So we will be hanging with you guys live and in person a week and some change from tonight. So exciting things on the horizon as the calendar crosses over into June, Tyler, that we're just going to be picking things up a little bit.
Yeah, and you made mention of June Schwarber about to take hold. And the one thing that we didn't really talk about was Schwarber's career batting average in April and May is 208 and 202, respectively. He was better than that in both accounts this year. If the trajectory remains the same, which I would love to see, June might be a hell of a month for Kyle Schwarber.
I love it. I'm so excited. It's time, guys. June is here. Happy June. See you guys next month. And as always, we appreciate you so much. Sorry. You know, see you next month. It's the truth. See you next month. Jim, Chris, K-Red, everybody tuned in on YouTube and Twitter. We'll see you guys next month for more Phillies wins. They've got 40 wins heading into June. Let's see what the next month will hold. Will they pass that 20-win mark? Their first time getting 20 wins in a month in over a decade, and get more in the month of June. Stay tuned. We'll find out. Coming up soon for the Phillies. So see you guys on Monday. More importantly, we'll be back live 11 a.m. Monday, back in our usual time, where we'll be recapping the weekend and looking ahead. And then, as mentioned, we've got a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday schedule. Thursday, Friday, we will not be live, but we will be live, like I said, Saturday and Sunday. So lots of fun things coming your way. See you next month. For Tyler, John, myself, Renee, hasta la vista, baby.
We all silly like the mayor.